pledge allegiance to our flag. I
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And Rex, want to mention too, I know you would like to keep up with David Cottle. And again, keep him in your prayers. You heard about the 51 dissenters to Obama's defense strategy in Syria. He was one of the 51. And plus, he was supposed to fly out of Istanbul airport today. And so he missed that. He missed that.
A college student that went to Lebanon for a month on a mission trip that was supposed to fly out of Istanbul to come home. So we're praying for rerouting for her.
Absolutely. All right. All right, thank you. All right, first on our agenda is resolution number 110-16 to pay our bills of $1,761,259.78. Is there a motion to adopt that resolution?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning.
Two, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman, the Director of Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybold, County Administrator, to execute a purchase of service agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and the Buckeye Ranch, located in Grove City, Ohio, for the provision of residential treatment and alcohol, drug, and mental health services for children referred by the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rates as defined therein, effective July the 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of a purchase order therefore.
Is there a motion then to execute the referenced purchase of service agreement with that contingency as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Three, please.
Recommendation to execute a purchase of service agreement by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and Adriel School Incorporated out of West Liberty, Ohio, for the provision of group home and residential treatment services for children referred by the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services and/or Clermont County Juvenile Court at the rates as defined therein, effective July the 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, pursuant to and compliance with the terms and conditions specified therein and contingent upon the issuance and receipt of a purchase order therefore.
Again, is there a motion to execute the purchase of service agreement with the contingency as recommended?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. Connie, how many kids do we have in these two?
And these two, the first one, Buckeye Ranch, we currently have 2 placements there.
Okay.
And Adriel, we currently do not have any placements there, but I think there are some coming. So.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Item 4, please.
Recommendation to authorize Judy Eshman, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, Administrative Agent for the Clermont County Family and Children First, to execute the Clermont County Family and Children First Council Administrative Agent Agreement for the purposes of defining the rights and duties of the parties of the Administrative Agent Agreement, therefore, effective for the period of July the 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, to be automatically renewed unless a 90-day written notice to terminate is issued by either party of the Administrative Agent Agreement, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions outlined therein, and in conjunction with Resolution Number 3816, previously adopted by the Board of County Commissioners on March 3rd, 2016, which resolved to approve the designation of the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services as the administrative agent for the Clermont County Family Children First Council, effective July the 1st, 2016, pursuant to Section 121.37B5 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Is there a motion then to authorize Judy Eshman, Director of our Job and Family Services, to execute the Clermont County Family and Children's First Council and Administrative Agent Agreement as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey.
Aye.
Mr. Hubel.
Yes.
Mr. Proud.
Yay. And 5, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, Administrative Agent for the Clermont County Family and Children First, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybold, County Administrator, to execute memorandums of understanding by and between the Clermont County Family and Children First, whose administrative agent is the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, and local contributing agencies as specified below for the establishment of a cooperative and mutually beneficial relationship between all parties therefore, and further to provide for the contributions by each agency in the amounts outlined below to Clermont County Family and Children's First, which represents the local contribution for each agency for the period of July the 1st, 16 through June 30th of 17, state fiscal year 2017, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein in compliance with the Clermont County Family and Children First local contribution policy attached thereto and made a part thereof. And this is for 4 separate agencies, including Clermont County Board of Developmental Disabilities in the amount of $50,000, Clermont County Mental Health and Recovery Board, $64,642, Clermont County Public Health, $3,000, and Clermont County Juvenile Court for $25,000.
Is there a motion then to execute the memorandums of understanding as recommended?
So moved.
Second? Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And lastly, item 6, please.
Recommendation of Judy Eshman, Director of the Department of Job and Family Services, Administrative Agent for the Clermont County Family and Children First, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybolt, County Administrator, to execute a memorandum of understanding by and between the Board of County Commissioners, Clermont County, Ohio, and Clermont County Family and Children First, for the establishment of a cooperative, mutually beneficial relationship between all parties, and further to provide for the contribution of $37,558 by the Board of County Commissioners to Clermont County Family and Children's First, which represents the Board of County Commissioners' local contribution for the period of July 1st, 16 through June 30th of 17, pursuant to the terms and conditions specified therein in compliance with the Clermont County Family and Children First local contribution policy attached thereto and made a part thereof.
Is there a motion to execute the referenced memorandum of understanding as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks, Connie. Item 7, please.
Item 7 is the recommendation of Andy Kuchla, Director, Department of Community and Economic Development, with my concurrence to execute an enterprise zone agreement by and between the Board of Trustees of Union Township, Clermont County, Ohio, the Board of County Commissioners of Clermont, Ohio, and Slice of Stainless Incorporated, Ohio Corporation. Main office is located in Seabrook Way, Cincinnati, Ohio. An Ohio limited liability company with its main office is located at 1015 Seabrook Way, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the granting of a 50% tax exemption for 5 years on real property improvements made as part of the project, as identified in its referenced agreement, and exemptions commencing no later than December 31st, 2020, and not extending beyond December 31st, 2024, pursuant to Section 5709.61 through 5709.69, inclusive of all the Ohio Revised Code, and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, in consideration of the investment to be made by Slice of Stainless Incorporated, for the expansion, retention, and economic development, as well as the preservation and creation of employment opportunities within the designated boundaries of the Rural Jobs Enterprise Zone in the Clermont County, Ohio, and to direct the clerk of the board to forward the agreement by and between the Board of Trustees, Clermont County Commissioners, and Slice of Stainless to the Ohio Development Services Agency, the Ohio Department of Taxation, and the Clermont County Auditor.
Steve, do you know if we got a letter from the trustees requesting this?
Yes, sir, we did.
We did. Okay.
How many jobs are we talking?
I have my cheat sheet here since Andy was unable to be here. They're committing 6 new jobs and to retain 15 employees, as well as this is current payroll of about $879,000, and the new payroll will be increased to $204,000, which is an average of $34,000 per year average salary. And I was just corrected this morning, the minimum investment is up to $1.9 million, I believe, for a 20,000 square foot building addition. And based on the investment, it would be $17,000 a year, or about $85,000 over the life of the abatement.
I can remember when they came in several years ago, did a little demonstration for us of their products.
Correct.
Very impressive.
Nice company. They allow the employees to bring their dogs in.
Oh, do they? Oh, that's a great company. Is there a motion then to execute the referenced enterprise zone agreement between Board of Trustees of Union Township, Clermont County, and Slice of Stainless, Inc., as recommended?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Mr. Yubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Brandon, you have item 8, please.
Good morning, Brandon Hepner, ISD Director. Here's my recommendation with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybolt, to adopt Resolution 11116, resolving to find that the computer communications equipment listed in Exhibit A attached thereto and made part thereof is no longer necessary for use by Clermont County, and therefore determines that it should be donated to Mauistown Police Department in Mauistown, Ohio, located in Highland County, political subdivision of the state of Ohio, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 30712 of the Ohio Revised Code and subsequent thereto, to authorize the ISD to delete the items from the inventory and transfer reference items accordingly, thereby becoming the responsibility of the receiving agency.
Yeah. How did you get Mallorystown? I mean, it's not a huge.
They actually were on Gov Deals, and we had some tough books out on Gov Deals, and they contacted us. And we said we had some other ones other than what was on Gov's deals, so that they could then, if they wanted them, that we would then go through this process.
Okay, that's awesome. Is there a motion then to adopt resolution number 111-16 as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel? Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks, Brandon. Lyle, item 9, please.
Morning. I'm Lyle Bloom, Director with the Water Resource Department, and item number 9 is a recommendation to authorize the release of maintenance bonds that provided surety for the installation of the sewer main extensions to serve the following subdivision and to accept said sewer main extension into the county sewer system pursuant to the Clermont County Water Resource Department rules and regulations. And this is for the Weatherby Farm subdivision, Section 10B in Union Township, and the bond amount is $6,400.
Is there a motion then to authorize the release of the reference maintenance bond and to accept the extensions into the county system as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And 10, please.
Item 10 is a recommendation to execute maintenance bonds in the amounts outlined as surety for the installation of water or sewer main extensions to serve the following subdivisions or locations. The first is the Pine Bluff subdivision, Section 1, Block B in Miami Township. The water bond is $3,500 and the sewer bond is $1,600. And the last is Otterbein Homes for property at 4150 Buxton Road in Union Township, and the sewer bond is in the amount of $1,000.
Is there a motion then to execute the reference maintenance bonds as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 11, please.
Item number 11 is a recommendation to accept the following grants of water easements with rights of reentry for repair and replacement. They will be granted and conveyed to Clermont County for utility purposes of constructing, operating, maintaining, repairing, replacing, removing, or reinstalling water utility lines, pumping equipment, and all incidental fixtures required for the transportation of water in, on, under, and across the property of the grantors. And this is relative to the State Route 132, State Route 48, and State Route 28 water main replacement project located in Goshen Township. And to authorize the execution of plats of easements as designated, and further to authorize the county auditor to remit payment to the grantors in amounts as outlined and as indicated on the settlement sheets as compensation for the permanent easement and right-of-way or repairs, and to remit payment in the amount of $160 payable to J. Robert True, the county treasurer, for the recording fees. And the grantor for the first one is Mark Lowry, and the second one is Mark E. Lowry, trustee.
Is there a motion then to accept the reference grants of water easements, execute the plats of easements, authorize our auditor to make compensation payment, and to make the payment to the county treasurer as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. 12, please.
Item 12 is a recommendation to award the bid for supply and delivery of water meters and or transmitter units for bid items 1 through 4 pursuant to the specifications to HD Supply Waterworks out of Batavia, Ohio, for the lowest and best bid received on May 12, 2016 at the item prices as outlined therein for a total estimated amount of $80,165, and to execute the contract relative thereto for the period of June 30th, 2016 through June 19th, 2018, with an option to renew for an additional 1-year period thereafter upon the same terms and conditions. And this is pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and award of bid therefore. And so this is for bid item number 1 is for a 5/8 by 3/4 positive displacement meters, or typically our residential water meters. Bid item 2 is our 1-inch, 1.5-inch, and 2-inch positive displacement meters. And bid item 3 are compound meters, which are typically the commercial meters. And the last is for the transmitter units, which will communicate with our AMI system.
Is there a motion then to make the award of bid and execute the contract as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lyle. Item 13. How are you?
Hello.
Really good to see you there.
I'm Julie Fry, the Director of the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas Adult Probation Department, and I'm here with the concurrence of Mr. Rabel to execute a subsidy grant agreement for the community-based corrections programs by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, the Division of Parole and Community Services, and that's within the Bureau of Community Sanctions. And this is for the Community Corrections Act 407 non-residential felony grant relative to the prison diversion programs. When those two programs are for intensive supervision probation and the non-support program success through employment program. And this is for and on behalf of the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas Adult Probation Department as a designated implementing agency, and the amount of the grant is $299,540, and there's no local match required. The grant period is effective July 1st of 2016 through June 30th of 2017, and that is pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and in concert with the grant application for funding heretofore submitted online on April 22nd, 2016 by our department, with said grant application hereby acknowledged by the Board of County Commissioners, therefore.
Can you read that again?
No.
Is there a motion then to execute the subsidy grant agreement as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Julie, you want to tell us a little bit about the program?
Well,
How successful?
the intensive supervision program, we've been receiving this same grant from Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections since 1989. The second grant for the non-support offenders, which is we created the Success Through Employment program, we've been receiving that portion of the grant since 2007. And both of these grants from ODRC are prison diversion grants. So it's their attempt to help us have more programming available to felony level offenders to keep them out of prison so that they're rehabilitated instead of sent to prison and with the higher likelihood of recidivism once they get out. So the first program targets those offenders who are high risk to reoffend, and that's the intensive supervision. They have a closer supervision. The ISP officers have a schedule where they work nights and weekends, and they go out into the community and into the work environment and the home environment of all of the offenders, meet them at treatment agencies, so that the more supervision they have, the less likely they are to commit new crimes or to violate their probation. And then the second program, the STEP program, is targeted to to help felony non-support offenders develop employment skills, not just obtaining employment, but maintaining employment so that they pay their child support and stay out of prison for not paying.
Well, I appreciate about the program is you all take on the most difficult ones.
Yes.
And that's
They
what
are.
makes the program successful. You don't do just the easy ones.
Right. If not for these two programs, most of those offenders would be in prison.
Awesome. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
All right, item 14, please. Good morning.
Good morning. Stephanie Ross, Program Director of the Victim Advocate Program, Division of the Prosecutor's Office. Recommendation of Alan Edwards, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, to acknowledge the Ohio Attorney General 2 days in May mini grant application and award previously submitted for participation in the 2 days in May annual conference by the staff of the Clermont County Victim Assistance Program in the amount of $1,482.40 with a required local cash match of $370.60, heretofore filed and accepted as of March 21st, 2016, and to authorize Robert L. Proud, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Justice Programs, Office of the Comptroller certification regarding debarment, suspension, ineligibility, voluntary exclusion, lower tier covered transactions, special condition number 10, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon verification of the source of the required local cash match funding relative thereto.
How did it go?
It went well. It was an awesome training. There were 1,300 advocates there from across the state of Ohio. So we found out that there's only 200 registered advocates currently in the state of Ohio. At one point they had over 5,000. So there's a lot of new advocates in the field. So I think it's a very important conference that the Ohio Attorney General does provide that training for them. So it was really good.
Good, that's awesome. There's a motion then to acknowledge the referenced mini grant application and award, and to execute special condition number 10 with the contingency as recommended.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks again. Keep up that good work.
Thank you.
All right, item 15. Mary.
Hi, I'm Mary Raines of the Office of Management and Budget. Item 15 is the recommendation to adopt and authorize the President of the Board to sign the 2017 tax budget in compliance with Section 570528 of the revised code. Last week, Suki did a presentation on the tax budget. It's been available in the auditor and commissioner's offices, on the commissioner's website, SharePoint, and on the library's homepage. We also have an email address for comments. We've received nothing. So basically, this document that you have is as it was presented last week. It's the beginning of the 2017 process. We'll send this to the auditor, to the Budget Commission. They'll do their thing, get it back to you in September to establish the rates, and then September, October, we'll start the appropriation process.
All right. Is there a motion then to adopt the annual tax budget as recommended?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. All right. Thank you for all the work on that one as well. Are you doing the financials?
Sure.
Wow, Steve really got you working. All right, cool. Item 16, please.
Okay. Item 16 is a recommendation of the Office of Management and Budget to approve and authorize the financial and budgetary actions which are amending the annual appropriation pursuant to 570540 and 570514, 13 of the revised code. The first two are for increasing the appropriations for Common Pleas Court for temporary salaries of $7,595 and retirement of $1,772. The temporary is for bailiff to fill in for a Judge McBride's bailiff who'll be on leave, and the retirement is for one of their employees who's leaving. The budget transfers are in the Juvenile Court Special Project Fund, $5,000 going from other expenses to salaries, and $1,500 from other expenses to the fringes, and that is for a part-time summer community service worker. The reimbursement is a cash moving from the Children's Services Fund to the Public Assistance Fund in the amount of $481,834.05. And this is to reimburse the Public Assistance Fund for the allowable shared and administrative expenses for January through March.
Is there a motion then to approve the supplemental appropriations, budget transfers, and the reimbursement of funds as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thanks. And I know we have 4 add-ons.
We do. One Mary's going to do, which is the second one before in the line, dealing with the waiver.
Okay, wait, Mary?
Did you want to, yeah, I was just
That
going to
one
say, I didn't realize you took off when you turned left.
You're all warmed up now.
I'm warmed up. Gosh, I haven't done this in years. You guys know that, don't you? All right. The recommendation is from the Office of Management and Budget pursuant to Section 570546 of the revised code, which limits expenditures on the current payrolls during the first half of any fiscal year to 60% of the appropriation. If any would increase from that 60%, the board has to waive the limitation. And so we're asking that you waive the limitation where personnel costs are charged to multiple funding sources or will be changing in the second half of the year based on funding schedules and staffing. We have a couple where we have a municipal court bailiff who is paid out of general fund for the first half of the year. The second half is paid from another fund. We have people like Suki, who is shared with Water Resources and has been working heavily into that part of her job. The first half of the year, it'll be tapering off.
She hopes.
She hopes. She hopes. And I think the other one that we have an issue with is solid waste. Again, it's where the employees are shared multiple places, so it just evens out at the end.
Is there a motion then to approve the waiver as recommended?
Benefit, right?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. You know what? You weren't rusty at all. You did well.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, let's do the rescission of the animal claim.
Yes, I will preface this by saying this was a mistake on my part, asking the board to take this action prior to this week. But it's my recommendation to rescind the authorization of payment in the amount of $40 from Dog and Kennel Fund to Frank Sharp for the loss of one rabbit on his property located in Franklin Township on or about 5/12/2016. Previously ratified on 6/27/16, as much as the statute for filing a claim for this referenced loss and subsequent review of authorities and consideration for compensation. This was repealed by the 131st Ohio General Assembly in House Bill 64, which became effective 9/29/2015. I missed that when I asked the board to do that, but that whole section of that code has been rescinded by the legislators.
Well, you weren't the only one who missed it. We all missed it, so. Is there a motion again to rescind the authorization for the payment as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay.
By the way, Mr. Proud,
Yes.
just for edification purposes, knowledge purposes, that entire section related to the loss by dogs was rescinded. However, the coyote section still exists.
Live and well.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Also, it would have been, anyway, we wouldn't have been liable for it. Okay, well, it's sad it had to be, the rabbit had to die, no matter who did it, but. All right, Joe.
I appreciate you adding me on the agenda because Judy actually had to kind of finagle me and she did some good work, so I appreciate it. Just like Julie Fry from Common Pleas Municipal Court is seeking approval for the CCA 408 non-residential misdemeanor jail diversion program. That's from the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Corrections to help fund municipal courts' intensive supervision program and community service work program. It's in the amount of $241,000, and it also includes an addendum of $27,790, which is part of last year's funding, which included the partial payment of quality assurance part-time officer and incentive monies for offenders. And the grant helps municipal court with a full-time ISP officer, part-time quality assurance officer, full-time community service coordinator, a community service intake officer, and a full-time community service work crew supervisor. And the monies also provide us with some treatment monies to work with high-risk offenders at the recovery center, and in turn we get some case management, which helps us. And also part of those monies go for incentive monies to actually encourage offenders to continue to comply with what they're required to do with the court. The ISP program serves 95 high-risk offenders, and the community service program serves 822. And just let me clear something. The total grant amount is $241,217. So I appreciate you kind of put me on the agenda quickly. But this grant has been around for us for a lot of years, and we rely heavily on it, especially because of the high-risk offenders that we deal with. It certainly has been beneficial to municipal court.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Judith.
You're so welcome.
And again, I want to say too, with your program, is I appreciate the fact you guys taking it on.
There are a few of those. So I appreciate your leadership throughout the years too in criminal justice, and I appreciate all the support the commissioners have given to try and address our opiate problem, and we certainly have other problems too that exist. So I appreciate the support.
So how many times have you all won the Cliff Skeen Award for the best?
You always ask me that, Bob. I think like 3 times. Somebody has to get it.
I'm going to keep asking until you say 4.
Yeah, I can start saying 4 if that'll. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff.
Is there a motion then to execute the subsidy grant agreement
Appreciate you getting me
for the
on.
community-based corrections programs between the county and the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction as recommended?
So moved. Second?
Mr. Yule?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Crowd?
Yeah, we also have to give kudos to Department of Rehabilitation and Correction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for them to take the attitude now that they just don't throw all their money into prisons. They put a lot of their budget now into community corrections.
They do. They put a lot of money in locally, and they really do. And they're a great department to actually work with.
Director Moore is pretty awesome.
Yes, he is.
And so just kudos to the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction as well.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Bob.
All right, thank you. So Jim, you doing the next item, add-on?
Right.
All right, you're on, buddy.
I'm Jim Maloney from the Clermont County Sheriff's Office. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer. Sorry that this had to be an add-on. I will say that. I'll be getting into that when I get back because it was hand-delivered to the prosecutor's office on June 8th. So, but I appreciate it getting on, and if I knew I was coming today, I would have been dressed more appropriately.
You are dressed.
So, with that said, the Clermont County fine money grant is due. It's up. We've got the award, and from the recommendation of Alan Edwards, Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, with the concurrence of Stephen H. Raybould, County Administrator, to authorize Robert L. Proud, President of the Board of County Commissioners, to execute the sub-grant award agreement, subgrant number 2015-DL-LEF-5814, by and between the County of Clermont, Ohio, and the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Office of Criminal Justice Services. P.O. Box 182632, 1970 West Broad Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43218-2632, for funding through the Ohio Drug Law Enforcement Fund, DLEF program, for the project entitled Clermont County Drug Unit in the amount of $195,445.22, with a required cash match of $65,148.41 to be provided from the 2016-17 annual appropriations for the county sheriff, and or to be provided by county sheriff from the Narcotics Law Enforcement Trust Fund, and I'll talk about that in a second, 2503. For a total project budget of $260,593.63 for the period of 7/1/16 through 6/30/17, for and on behalf of the County Sheriff, Clermont County, Ohio, as the designated agency for the administration and implementation thereof, pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth herein, and in concert with the grant application heretofore filed electronically by the county sheriff on 12/21/15. This is our major grant as far as funding goes for the drug unit. We have two grants. One that started the grant back in the 80s, which was the Edward Byrne grant. They call it, referred to as the JAG. That grant has been basically going away. At one time, back in 97, when Sheriff Rodenberg came in the office, that would fund the entire grant, or all the drug unit. Now, we're lucky to get $40,000 from that grant. So it was around $300,000 at one time, and now it's down to 40. So the fine money grant, which is, they call it that because it's based on fines through the courts, and it's divided up in many ways, and task drug forces receive a portion of that. And our portion is $195,000. This grant, along with our match, which I said I would talk about, the $65,000, we received $50,000 and have ever since I've been with the county for a match for grants. Once we use that grant money that you provide us, we use that particular forfeiture account to make up the difference. And that's the reason why that is in there. Just so you know, because you'll see obviously that you only provide us $50,000, but we're talking about 65 here, and that difference is made up by forfeitures. But this grant, as we've been going through all of our grants, we're just hoping that they hold steady. But the JAG grant, we feel, will eventually go away. They're using it for other things at this point. Some of that money is going to rehab type centers, and not to say they're not all good causes, but we still have to find other means though to continue with our drug unit.
Jim, the forfeitures, can you give us examples where those are coming from, the forfeitures?
The forfeitures, because we have a drug grant, we have two sets of forfeitures. We have forfeitures that the drug unit generate, and they have to go into their own set of forfeitures. They can only be used for the drug unit. Now, if a road patrol deputy makes a stop, and let's say cocaine, heroin, cash, that cash and maybe the vehicle as well could be forfeited. That goes into another set of forfeitures that is under the sheriff's office. Those have broad discretion as far as being used. The drug unit forfeitures can only be spent on drug unit items, period. Now, a lot of your larger counties that do not have inner city counties, for the most part, their forfeitures are 10, 20 times what ours are because of the activity they have. And that's good and bad. I mean, let's face it, we're not seeing it because of where we live, and it's a wonderful community, I think Clermont is anyway. But they have millions and millions of dollars. So we're not anywhere even close to that.
You got a nice bump recently with that Maserati, didn't you?
That's sitting out there, yes. That we have a Maserati that was forfeited. I believe if my understanding is they still owe $40,000 on it, meaning the bank owes it. If we get a forfeiture like that, we still have to pay the bank. I mean, it's not like the loan originators get left out. They're still paid. But I mean, $40,000 is a lot of money to us to continue on with the drug unit goal.
Do you get any money from the Attorney General's office?
For what purpose?
With the opiate thing, I don't know if Ohio Attorney General has any grant funds for you there.
No, not that I'm aware of, Bob. No, sir.
Well, if he's listening, he needs to start. And also, too, when you talk about your forfeiture, a lot of people see, like with meth, if there's a house where they're cooking meth and everything, and people say, oh, good, you got the house. Well, you don't want the house. I mean, it's a liability more than an asset.
Correct. I mean, that's a forfeiture we don't want.
Right.
It would cost us more. And actually, our drug unit task force has been trained in meth cleanup, and that may not sound like it's a major ordeal, but if we were not, you would have to call in a hazmat group, and that's extremely expensive. Extremely expensive. So we do our own. They've been trained, and they go to additional training all the time for that. But we do that ourselves just because it's, I mean, you can get into thousands and thousands of dollars with some of the cleanups.
And also want to give a great kudos to our drug unit. We have an awesome, awesome drug unit. And especially
you.
with our opiate problem we have, doing the great job that they're doing. And so I just want to pass along to them, too, that we thank them for the great work, and all the other political entities who are loaning officers to that as well.
It's a big help to us when other entities, as you call them, the Union Townships, Miami, and you get into all of them. I don't want to start naming them all, but that lend individuals to that, it certainly allows them to do a lot more.
They do a great, great job.
Thank you.
Is there a motion then to execute the subgrant award agreement as recommended?
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. And we have a request for an executive session. That's pursuant to section 1.22 G4 of the Ohio Revised Code. And that's to prepare for, conduct, or review negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning the compensation or other terms and conditions. Motion to executive session and for those reasons.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. We'll be back in a little bit. Let the record show the board came out of executive session and has resumed its regular session, again with no decisions made. And gentlemen, we have the minutes from today's session in front of us. And when you all are ready, I entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes of today's session.
And I will second that motion.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Any other business at all?
No, sir.
All right. Is there a motion to adjourn today's session?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second?
Mr. Ubel?
Yes.
Mr. Humphrey?
Aye.
Mr. Proud?
Yay. Thank you all. Happy 4th of July. And take time again to thank those who have given us the freedom that we so enjoyed today. Thank you. God bless.